Hello, hello, hello. Oh, this is very exciting. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is my first ever LinkedIn Live. I'm super excited to be here. I'm going to introduce myself in a minute, but I've been pretty persistent with LinkedIn Live, getting LinkedIn Live. I think I've applied 6 times and now I actually have it. So I'm super excited. So I thought I'd pop on, just finishing a few things off on a Friday afternoon. And I thought I'd pop on and try it out and make sure it all works and just say hello to everyone, because I'm going to be doing a few more lives. I'm going to do some regular lives and have some guests and talk about things, all things relevant to female leaders. So things like imposter syndrome, speaking up, unconscious bias, what's at the heart of diversity, how to lead from your heart, all sorts of things, how to be a empowered corporate empath, so how to lead feelings first. So I'm super excited. So just to introduce myself, I am Nicola Buckley and I am a leadership and exec coach, and I help women leaders in the corporate world. I help them to find their fire. So I help them to get that passion, that purpose, that excitement back in their hearts and fall in love with what they do again. So that giddy, it's for it to feel like that giddy first love that we probably all had, where we felt slightly awkward and it would just consume our thoughts. And there would just be blushing and awkwardness when we spoke to that person, but just to feel that depth of excitement and passion and love for what you do again, especially after the relentless year that we've had. And I do that to help my clients. The results are that they have much more impact on the people that they work with. They have much more influence, so they start to be offered opportunities. They start to be really be seen and be heard. So they have much more influence, and as a result of that, they have much more income as well. So they tend to get promoted, go for different roles, and get invited onto boards or get invited for the next level role, and get pay rises. So that is who I am and what I do. So I help female leaders in the corporate world. I help them to find their fire, that passion, that purpose and excitement, so that they have more impact and influence and income. And also as part of that, they become a real force for good. So they become a force for good. So they speak up and they challenge things that need changing around diversity and inclusion. And they really drive parity and equality. And they do that through being this force for good that doesn't take no for an answer, that challenges the way things are done, that doesn't let gender discrimination or any kind of discrimination, doesn't allow it just to be there, but actually challenges it so it can start to be changed, and has bold conversations and sets brave boundaries. And they're women who are role models to the people around them of how to be a female leader, that isn't about being a bitch, or it's not about being a yes woman, it's not about acting like a man, but it's all about leading from your heart and leading with empathy so that you have that compassion for people. It's about leading with vulnerability, so sharing how you're feeling and what you're understanding. It's about leading with courage as well, to ask big, brave questions. So that's who I am and what I do. So why do I do it? I do it because I spent 16 years in corporate marketing. I ran multi-million-pound launches for big household names in the tech world. And I had large teams that I would guide through launch processes. And we would always have something go, it would be going brilliantly well. It was very organized, very structured. Took a team on an absolute journey with me. So from day one, we'd be co-creating an amazing plan to run a launch that was on time, on profit, and really, really stood out. But you could always guarantee the day before launch something would go really, really wrong. So it was down to us to kind of have a plan to bring it back together. So that's what I used to do. And really in the corporate world, I never really fitted in. I never really felt like I never felt like I belonged. I never felt like I was the right sort of person. And I was given feedback throughout my corporate career that you would do so much better if you were just a bit quieter, if you were just a bit less contentious, if you didn't speak up so much. And I was given feedback that was over emotional, overreactive. overly assertive at times, that bordered on aggression when I was really, really passionate. And I felt like I was always losing the hard edges of who I was to fit in. So I tried really, really hard to fit in. I tried to follow the feedback. I tried to tone down my laugh, my hair, the colors that I wore, and I tried to fit in, but I never really did. And in the end, I came to this huge realization that I wasn't meant to fit in. I was actually born to be a leader. And to be a leader, you're not meant to fit in, you're meant to stand out. And if you think about it, we're all leaders of one from the moment that we're born. And we can all develop into the leaders that we want to be. And we can develop into leaders with ourselves at the heart of being a leader. Leadership is not about models and set ways of behaving and known frameworks. Leadership is actually about becoming this youiest version of you and leading with that at the heart of what you do, because then it's not about being authentic or being the next version of you. You're simply and beautifully being yourself, and you are 400 trillion to one freak of nature. And you are here for a reason. You have a purpose. So we're spending 16 years in corporate marketing, and just having the challenges of being a female leader in a very male-dominated environment and feeling like I never fitted in. I just feel that there's such a need to help women to really step forward into owning these brilliant leadership roles. These women have already achieved a lot. The women I work with already are at a really senior level, but they still have doubts. They still at times lack confidence. Sometimes they don't speak up. At times they feel like it's completely overwhelming. They feel like they're having to be superwoman and balance it all. And I just really, truly believe that there's a different way to lead. There's a new way to lead that isn't just that alpha stereotyped leader that we see role models so often. There's a new way to lead that isn't softer, isn't being less. It's actually about owning who you are and leading from your heart. And that's what I want to do. I want to help these brilliant women just shake off the last year, shake down how they've been feeling, shake off everything that they've been carrying, and really get back to the heart of who they are and get back to that fire having that fire in their belly, so that they can burn down all the frameworks that aren't working, that they can just step past everything that's holding them back and just step into being this incredibly empowered female leader that is a brilliant role model to those people around them. So that's who I am. That's what I do. I do it because I just believe that there's this huge need. I think more female leaders in the corporate world is of benefit to everyone. So I think it leads to a more compassionate workplace. I think it leads to improved profitabilities, more equality, more diversity, role modeling to future generations about how to be a compassionate and vulnerable leader with power. And I just think there's time for a huge shift to change. So that's who I am, and that's what I do, and that's why I do it. So if that's how am I different? My final thing, my doorbell's going. How am I different? I'm different because I teach you to be yourself. I help and guide you back home to who you are. So I'm a leadership coach, but I'm not going to teach you models and techniques and frameworks. I'm going to guide you back to home to who you are and fall back in love with what you do and find your fire again. So if that's of interest, if that's relevant to you right now, if you're feeling like you've lost that fire and you've lost that ambition and drive that's got you to this brilliant position, it's still there within you. But if you need some help finding that again, or if you're facing a big decision in your career, that's what I do. That's what I help with. So just drop me a message and we can have a chat about how I can help you. But yes, I think LinkedIn Live's working. I've even got some comments. Hi, Shri, how are you? I've got LinkedIn news as well. Excuse me. How do you do this? How do I do what? How do I do my coaching, or how do I do LinkedIn Live? I don't know what you mean. Just let me know what you mean. But I'll be back with more of these. So just trying it out on Friday afternoon. But if you're interested in working with me, drop me a message and I will send over details of how you can work with me. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of you. Happy Friday. Bye.